How we doing, guys, and welcome. It's Kraken here. So I've built myself a little bit of a pyramid here. This base was a bit of a work in progress. I didn't really know what I wanted to build, just wanted something in this kind of shape here. Quickly show you these. I've put some lights around the outside ready for Horde nights, and I've found if I've put battery packs on the back or generators on the back that they always end up getting damaged. With these underneath just to keep them out of the way, and they seem to work pretty well. These can get the occasional hit from a cop, but on the whole they work pretty well just to keep things nice and safe and nice and easy to turn on and off. So the idea with this was, now zombies don't take full damage, the whole idea of having a pit base is very nice, but they do tend to always try and beat their way out. So my idea was that if I had a nice gentle incline, I've used the tips here rather than the wedges. If the wedges, I find they try and punch their way through. With the tips, I find they don't tend to try and punch down. They just try and make their way up to you. If they fall back down or you hit them or shoot them and they ragdoll back down here again, they pick themselves back up and come straight back up to the top. Now, with this base, you can build it up as you go along. I've obviously got these blade traps up at the top, but you don't actually need them to begin with. I've put this hatch in here so you can get in and out nicely. Now, the zombies see the doors as half the amount of hit points, and these hatches, just made from normal scrap iron, only have 1,000 hit points, which is the downside, and the zombies see about half of that. So the good side to this is where they always try and come from. So even if they come in from over here, they will always try and make their way round to the door, and it's nice and easy to repair. And in the early days you can use your melee weapons, you can use your bow and arrows and hit the zombies off like this, which is really nice and simple, a nice easy effective way, easily get you through the day 7, maybe the day 14 horde, and you can build the base up. Building this probably out of flagstone and cobblestone to begin with, and then slowly upgrade it to concrete like we have done here. Let me show you the inside of the base. So inside here I've made myself a nice little area using the lanterns, as they give off so much light, as you can see here. So we've got plenty of room. I've got this solid behind here for the rest of the incline, so it's nice and strong behind there, so the zombies won't ever try and look to go through the walls because there's just too many blocks in their way, and it's quite nice and easy to fill in. So I got myself a bit of extra support here with these pillars, got myself the chemistry station and the workbench, so you can build yourself a little base here, and then you'd probably look to move to a bigger main base later on in the game, and you should be able to carry on using this as a Horde night base. So as you can see with the roof here, I tried to follow the incline of the actual pyramid, but unfortunately there's no tip that you can put on the top that follows the same incline. If I had been using the ramps here rather than the wedge tips, then that would follow that incline, so that makes it look more like a wizard's hat than the kind of roof I was going for. In hindsight, I would probably scrap the whole roof idea and continue on with the bars, because the bars being stepped out slightly can cause a slight issue that there is now actually a gap between here and here. So if the zombies do start standing on each other or standing on top of the traps, that they can slowly make their way inside, because they do like to stand on each other's shoulders, which is a bit of a downside. So I'd probably scrap the roof and put the bars in the four corners and then coming down in line with these ones here. Now, one thing I do like about this though is that because we've got lots of room in front of us, we can use the Molotovs and the grenades really easily without trying to go through a small little gap. If you put like a little hatchway to try and shoot through, a lot of the time I end up saving myself a light. And obviously we do know we cannot throw things through the bars, so it's quite nice to be open for once and use those, which is a very good thing. So let's spawn in a couple of zombies and just show you how this works. So we're going to turn these on. I did think about setting myself up a switch either up here or on the back of these, but every single time I did, a cop spit would just knock that straight out. So I've decided we're just going to leave things on here because we've only got to get halfway down to do that. So we're just going to try that. We're just going to try with some normal zombies to begin with. We'll get a few fell Joes out there. Here we go. Grab their attention, and the blade traps should be able to do this completely on their own. As you can see, they all try and come through the door. The door is nice and easy to repair up, but they are going to keep on getting hit by the blade traps. Like I say, there's the downside that they can actually jump on in. Now, he wasn't getting hit because he was actually stood on his mate down here. Now they have updated, since we're in Alpha 18.1 now, that you don't get the points from the blade traps anymore. So that is one slight downside. As you can see, they didn't take that much damage from here. Now if we do the same over here, now they should try and make their way over to the doorway. So let's put in a few more this time. Grab their attention. Reload things. And they should try and, as you can see, look, here we go, they try and make their way round to this doorway because they see that as half the amount of hit points. But even easier this time because they spread themselves out and the blade traps could hit them nicely. Now if we quickly turn these blade traps off, we can actually see how much damage has been done to them with that amount of ferals. That one wasn't used, so only 40 damage there. This one wasn't used. There we go, under 70 damage there. Only 160 damage there. As you can see, these have not taken much damage. They do, unfortunately though, do take forged steel to repair these. So that's one thing to bear in mind. That they're not that bad. They're not that expensive to make, but they're not the cheapest thing to repair. What have we got in our loot bag? Oh, a bit of money. It's always good. So if we look at the intellect tree here, to be able to make the blade traps, we are looking at advanced engineering, unless you find the schematic out in the world, that you are going to need intellect level 6 to go into electrician. Now you are going to need forged steel to be able to make this, which means that you are going to need to make the crucible, which if we have a quick look at that, either need advanced engineering like we've just seen, or we're going to need to find the schematic. Now the crucible is pretty expensive to make, but then steel isn't too difficult to make after that, so something just to bear in mind. I have thought about maybe a couple of different ways, maybe putting an electrical fence around here, But I think that would be fairly difficult because normally you need to try and hide it behind a wall. But we have got the advantage that the zombies aren't going to be beating on anything until they actually try and get up here. And then they are going to be getting hit by these. So let's see, get ourselves in here. Let's try this against a slightly stronger set of zombies and see what we can do. So we'll whack ourselves some of the Joe Ferrells up there. Let's have a look at getting a couple of cops out there. And let's have a quick look. What else should we get out here? Here we go. We'll get ourselves a couple of the crawlers. Right, let's get ourselves a couple of the feral soldiers. Now let's get our traps turned on. Hear them spinning back up. Close this down. Where are you going, guys? Come on over. Now the soldiers have got a very good chance with their parry of actually making it round to the door. As you can see straight away, he did actually make his way around to the door. The Joes, by the looks of it, have killed themselves off. A few more. This gives us time then to really work on the headshots with the cops. So as you haven't got to worry about any of the normal zombies. There we go, there's another Joe's just killed himself off. We can just concentrate on the big ones like the demolition zombies. I don't believe, let's just double check, I don't believe the demolition zombies, I don't believe they are actually ever ferals. We reload ourselves, no, so they walk quite slowly, but you've got to be very accurate that you don't hit him in the chest like that, because he then will take out a blade trap. But I'm actually fairly surprised at how little damage he's actually done to the concrete. And that's killed him off. But I'm actually surprised how little that damage actually did to the concrete up here. Now obviously he did take out a whole blade trap, which is never ideal. But once you've got yourself into the position where you can build the blade traps, he didn't do that much damage. And there you go, he's given us 15 steel, a SWAT helmet, a couple of vitamins as well, so that's not actually that bad going. So there you have it, guys, that's the pyramid base. Any comments or ideas, please leave them in the comments below. If there's anything that you would do differently or would like to see me try with this style base, then let me know and I'll be more than happy to test that out for you. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, then please consider doing that, and check out our tips and tutorials playlist where we've got loads of other ideas about other bases. We've got the video on there about our castle build as well, which is over here. Quickly show you this as we are here. So here's the castle that we built with a full-size moat around the outside and with our 5 big towers there. So if you want to see how we did this, how we built and what we did with this base, then please have a little look in the tips and tutorials playlist and you'll see the castle build in there. And until we see you next time, guys, take it easy.